Hi. One of the seasonal events started today. It appears that we have 3 a year, the big ones that run for about a month, and then there are lots and lots of little events that run in between. So this morning when I got out of bed and made my coffee, this here is what I saw. So let's click on it. And there you go. Those of us who have been around the game for a while will recognize this is an identical pattern to the other seasonal quests. But for those who haven't seen it, we'll just go through this very quickly. Sugar beets. Sugar beets you get from doing these special event quests here on the left hand side. But you also get sugar beets every hour or so. They drop out of the sky and they land in your city, like for example this one over here. Now what happens when I click on it? Oh, there you go. I get a sugar beet, you see. Now we go back to this March of the Herds Johnny over here, and there you see my sugar beet count has now gone up by that one that I collected. What do you use them for? Well, there are these chests. There's a bronze chest, there's a silver chest, a gold chest. The bronze chest, let's have a look inside. You see, you need 50 sugar beets to open this chest, and then you've got a chance of winning one of the items that are on this list. You could win the daily event building, which is that Johnny there, changes every day. This one today is Fruitful Fields. It's a hybrid building. It combines population and culture in the same building, and of course it's quite useful for a beginner. The number of population and the number of culture that you get varies depending on which chapter you're in, and I'm going to show you a little bit later. There's a guide that we have, and we have all of that information in the guide. Go back to the chest now. There we go. The other things you can win here: marble relics, you could win steel relics, planks relics, you could win knowledge points, you could get more sugar beets, you see, either 50 or 90, and you can get rune shards. The point is that if you keep winning extra sugar beets when you click on the chest, then it gives you another shot basically, or more than a shot. And of course this depends on what you are trying to achieve in the event. Let's just have a look quickly at the grand prizes. Those are the grand prizes there, 3 buildings. How do you build them? You get candies. Every time you open a chest you get some candies. And when you have 250 you can get the first one. When you have I think it's about 400, haven't got the exact figure, but there you can get another building, which gives you some very nice culture. And if you were lucky enough to get enough candy, then you can open this one. I must warn you though that you're not going to get enough candy. There's about a 1% chance from previous events, this one ought to be similar, that if you get bonus sugar beets every time you click, and you've got to go big chest, the grand chest, because that gives you the greatest chance of getting extra candy. But you would need to get, right at the top it says 200 sugar beets. You would have to get incredibly lucky. You know, you would have to luck out big time, because you need to hit that 30, 40, 50 times to get the extra sugar beets that will land up with you having enough candies to get the third building. Unless of course you're going to spend diamonds, which is what the developers want you to do, and it's their right. They can earn some money, they've got to pay the rent. But for an ordinary player, I would say, unless you're going to spend diamonds, forget about this boy here. Rather go for the daily exclusives. We will have a list taken from the beta server, and it'll be in the guide I told you about. You can choose which one do you want, and the exclusive prizes get better and better and better as the event goes on. This one is running for about a month, so you can save up all of your sugar beets and then have a really, really good go at getting the daily exclusive building of your choice. We don't know what's coming yet. There could be all kinds of surprises. It may not just be population and culture. There may be any kind of odd things which the developers have dreamed up, which we do not know about because it's only day 1 at the moment, and you started this morning. So there you go. That's your strategy, and the one I recommend is save sugar beets, go for exclusive buildings, These two will come on their own. You will get enough candies, don't worry. That one you're extremely unlikely to get, and unless you are rich, or if you have a great need to have type 1, type 2, type 3, so you've got a set, well, I just forget about it. Go for these. I must mention to you, once you get to Wood Elves chapter, you need buildings that give you mana. And these things, see, they don't give you mana, they give you population and culture. So you're going to end up selling them. So these event buildings are sort of a stopgap for younger players, new players below chapter 9. Once you get to chapter 9, you won't have room for them. Another thing to remember is there'll be another event in 4 months. So by then you've moved up in chapter, and the building's values are chapter related. So in 4 months' time, you're going to sell this whole lot and replace them with better ones in the next event. These things are transient. They come and then they go. Just like all other buildings. If you buy a culture building in chapter 6, by the time you get to chapter 8, you've got better culture buildings. You sell your chapter 6 buildings, you get chapter 8 buildings. That's how it works. The only other thing I want to show you here is the quests. The quest line, they call it. Here's a typical example. Gain a good amount of coins for which you will get 13 sugar beets. I've done about 10 or 12 or I don't know, 15, who knows, quests already today. So this is just one of them. And a good amount, it may puzzle you, a good amount is determined on which chapter you're in. So very fair to the beginner players. Advanced players have to get a lot of coins, but people who've only just started playing would not need 1,280, they'll probably need quite a lot less. There you go. And then the other quest over here is a daily quest, okay? They change every 24 hours. I haven't done this one yet, but it's buy 1 knowledge point, so let's do it, shall we? Why not? There you go, buy a knowledge point. Ooh, I haven't got any money. Oh well, I better buy it for planks then, hadn't I? There you go, and there you go. I've done my daily quest, and I got 35 extra sugar beets. All very useful. I now have 49 sugar beets, you see. I want to show you these. You may wonder, what are those? One of the quests was to upgrade 5 buildings to level 4 or greater. So I managed to squeeze these little plank manufactories in. They are for elves. They are the quickest and the smallest. So they are recommended for that upgrade building quest. And I upgraded them to level 4. So I got 2 of the 5 I needed. And I took them to level 5 and I got another 2. And all of a sudden the quest was finished. And I thought, hey, what's going on here? And then I saw, of course, I upgraded a mushroom farm to level 4. And the mushroom farms also count. So there's a little tip for you. Good, let's go and have a look at the guide, shall we? Well, this is the guide that we thrashed together in the last couple of hours. I must say I was half asleep. I hadn't had my morning coffee when I saw the event, so I actually thought it was not March of the Herds. I originally wrote it down as Revenge of the Nerds. Enough silliness. The event takes place in the beta world from June 29 until July 27, and normally, and we have no reason to believe that it won't do the same, normally the events in the live worlds where you play will start a week later. So we'll probably expect this event to run from July the 6th to August the 3rd. Here's an idea for you. Use Control plus D on your keyboard to put a bookmark on your browser's bookmark bar, because you're going to want to come back to this guide over and over again to check out the quests, and that's the way to make sure that you've got easy access, you see. It'll be on top of your browser, right up there at the top, and you click and it'll bring you here. People say now that with my guides that they struggle to find the quest because they're quite a long way down the page. Drag your scroll bar. There's a thing that looks like that, you see, and if you drag it, then you can go anywhere you want in the document, including to the quests. Here's the announcement from Inner Games. You can read it in your own time. What do you see when the event opens? That pops up on your screen. Okay. Now notice there are these little yellow question marks. You find them throughout the game of Elvenar. They're little tooltippy things. And when you click on that, it's going to take you to 5 different screens. Here's the first one. Come back in your own time. I don't want to make the video too long, but it tells you how the quest is going to work. This is the description. The next screen tells you what the sugar beets do. The next screen tells you what the chests do. The next one tells you what the candies do, and the next one tells you what the rewards do. You can find them by clicking on your own event page, or alternatively you can look in the guide. There we are, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Okay, I've showed you the quest line, the 2 quests that appear on the left hand side of your page. I have shown you the main screen, but if you've forgotten what I told you, it's all written down here. Sugar beets, there you go, there's a picture of a sugar beet that you can pick up around your city. And I don't think I mentioned this, but they appear in the same places in your city that you would find treasure chests in your friend's city. So you don't have to look all over the place, you can just look in the places where you have from experience learnt that treasure chests are. You'll find the beets there as well. There's just one other point, and that is that they seem to be triggered by visiting the world map and the trader. You only get one an hour, but the actual appearance seems to be triggered by you going to the map or going to the trader. Here are the consecutive quests. I've given a list which is incomplete because we only have 20 quests so far, telling you so far we've identified that you should be getting some power of provision spells ready for quests number 14 and 23, but you can also get them in the tournaments. Here we are. Here are the quests. Produce some beverages, reward is beet coin supplies, get some knowledge points, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Now here's an interesting one that's unique to this competition. Pay a good amount of marble. Now, good amount is dependent by your chapter. What the hell is pay? Well, if you see that quest, there's a little click button, a little plus button on this side of the quest. You click it, and it takes you to this screen where you can make a payment. It's like a tax. They're going to take marble out of your stores, and it's going to vanish, and that's going to buy you the quest. So you just click the maximize button, and then you click pay. So that puzzled a lot of us until we worked it out. So there you go. Now you've seen the video, you're not going to be puzzled, are you? Then the other quest, the one below, is the daily feeding quest, and it's exactly the same. They come up once every 24 hours. Here's the first one I showed you, knowledge point reward 35 sugar beets. This whole document is a work in progress. We've only had it for 3 hours, so it's very rough and ready. But I've copied all the tips from the previous seasonal event. They're in here now, and you can sort of go through them as well. Some of them will not apply because we don't know what's coming, and there may be some tips that need to be added to this list. I will be continually upgrading it, but it just tells you little tricks like, for example, if you're going to do long production cycles, you should build temporary buildings, like plank buildings, for example. You might build lots and lots of level 1 workshops and manufactories just for the event, and when the event is over, you sell them, get rid of them. So there you go. The prizes, here we go. You can also go through these in your own time. This is the one that you need a certain number of candies for. It's a 6x4 building, and in my chapter, which is chapter 8, you will get 2,300 culture when you own that building. Here's the second prize, the Great Auction, 5x5, 2,700 culture. And here's the third one, which, as I said, you're unlikely to get without spending diamonds, which would give you population plus culture. These prizes and the daily exclusives, as I said, the values are given for a player in chapter 8, the ones in my guide here. But the Crazy Wizards website has got full details of how many population and how many culture you would get for this daily exclusive building, which is today's, the Fruitful Fields, if you were in chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you can just click over there if you would like to see what your building will give you in your chapter. Where do I find the buildings? Well, you go to the bottom of your game, to the inventory tab. This is an old picture. They've changed the names. They used to be called spells, and the buildings were called buildings. If you look now, there was an upgrade last week. Now they are called enchantments, and the buildings are called summonings. I don't understand this, but anyway, ours is not to question, ours is just to do. So you would click on your inventory tab, and you would go to your summonings tab, and your event buildings would be in here. Lastly, the award chests. I did make the point, I'll get the math out on this later, but the events generally, the architecture of the events is generally very similar from event to event. In the past we discovered that the first bronze chest, which was called something else in the other events, doesn't matter, it requires 50 of those sugar beets to open it. You've got a 7% chance of getting an event building, and then you've got all these other chances here. Here we go, there's the silver chest, and there's the gold chest. Our previous experience has been that if you want to go for that elusive 1% chance of getting the big prize, the number 3 prize, only open the gold chests, the big ones, because it gives you the greatest number of candies for every sugar beet. So what most experienced players do, and idiots like me as well, is we rather go for the little chest, the bronze chest. You get so many more shots at winning that even though your chances of winning are lower, because you are throwing the dice many times, the chances are that you will get your daily exclusive building much easier if you open these little chests rather than opening the big ones. Alright, if you are interested in me rambling on, you'll find at the end of the guide there are a whole lot of impressions that I have, and I'm not going to bore you with them to make the video long. You can read them if you wish. I hope you found this valuable. If you need to know more, you can ask me a question here on YouTube, or you can come to our Facebook group, Elvenar Platinum Leaf. On the YouTube page at the top there's a link that will take you to our group. And if you want to see more of these videos and listen to my hideous South African accent boring you to tears, then underneath the video is a little button that you can click to subscribe, and you'll get a notification every time you make one. Thanks for being with me, and have a great day. Bye.